this session of Debate Class. If given the opportunity to play a game of D&D with an AI as the DM, would you? Who would like to be in favor?
I'll let you choose, pro or con.
Pro.
Guess that leaves me with con and you starting.
Yes, it does. Okay. So having a DM that is an AI that's generating your adventure gives you a couple things. One, you're able to explore new twists on the same tropes, because that's kind of what AIs do, is they take different elements and they twist them together in ways that we wouldn't necessarily think of, because we are very much so structured creatures. We see certain archetypes, certain storylines, and we mirror them in a lot of different ways. So AIs tend to go very off kilter. And I think that the level of creativity that you can get from an AI and the way it would spark creativity in a human being would be an exciting way to explore D&D in all of its different facets.
7 points.
Not bad. I think I agree with you that we could get some new and interesting twists on old tropes with the AI. It's the interaction with the group, the party, that I think is going to lack here, right? I think, in AI, they're given a whole range of possible outcomes, and then they can pick one, and then those branch off, right? And they can calculate all that in thousandths of seconds. They can do it really quickly. But if you give them something that's not in the range of expected possibilities, you're going to get, I found something on the web about that, like you do from Alexa or something. So when real weirdness comes out of the party, you need a human behind the screen who can go, I can roll with that punch.
10.004 points.
So I think they're going to have a hard time reacting to the weirdness. While they may be able to bring a certain bit of weirdness we weren't expecting, the weirdness that comes from the party, if it doesn't fit into the calculus that they've got programmed into them, stumbling block.
And that's a problem, but that's a problem that's also incurred by DMs as a whole, that your party will do something unexpected and you yourself do not have an answer for it. So it's not an uncommon problem to your D&D group already. However, I think it's a very unique way to take out the human bias of a DM. Because I, as a DM, you as a DM, we are inherently biased against certain things. There are going to be certain tropes, there are going to be certain character classes, there's going to be certain, things that we are just inherently, I don't like that, therefore it will not be in my game. I don't like magic users, therefore you almost never encounter a magic user as an NPC in my games because I don't personally like playing them. So by having an AI, you take out a lot of personal biases that you would incur for a DM. And you're going to have a much broader range of encounters in your game.
9 points.
Not bad, but again, we're going to be constrained by that programming that's in it. Your point about human bias, that's what makes the game ours, right? That's what makes it all happen, that you as the DM kind of construct the world that you want to make. And then something weird happens and you go, ooh, I think I'll go with that. I think I'll explore that. How many times have you told us about, one of the characters says, I bet that dragon's just really a brooch. And if we said the magic words, and you had never thought of that before, but then you write it down, the dragon's just a brooch. And then you go with it. And AI is not going to be able to pull that level of agility in the game to just roll with the punches. Whatever they went into this game with, that's what you're going to get. And you don't get that fluidness of mutual storytelling if you just have an AI.
8 points.
But I think that if we had an AI as a DM, that you would have to be constantly giving it input. Okay, I choose to go down this hall. I choose to go into here. And so therefore you as a group get to make combined decisions as to where the story is going to go and virtually eliminate railroading. The AI is it's not possible for it to railroad you to a specific answer because it doesn't have the answer. It's just going to continually present you with choices and narrative that you as a group get to decide collaboratively where you want your story to go. It's almost like the choose your own adventure novels, but as a group setting.
Yeah, so I think you're
points.
right and wrong. All the AI can do is railroad. However, it's got so much brain power, it's got thousands of tracks that you could go down, but it knows where every one of those tracks is going to go. And if you throw it a curveball that doesn't line up with one of those tracks, well, either it's going to explode or it's going to nudge you back on to one of its tracks, because that's the only way it knows how to go. It's pre-programmed.
10 points.
Except for the fact that it can't be both. It can't be that it has all of these thousands of tracks and the grand, knowledge of the internet to pull from, and therefore me as a single-minded individual am able to come up with a scenario it was unable to come up with. I don't feel like that's a possibility. My computing power of my brain, the combined of the three of us, is nowhere near close to the computing power of the internet.
It's right there in the name, Emily. Artificial intelligence. There is a finite number of things that computer could come up with. And that finiteness is defined by the inputs it was given. The human brain, the players, and the DM, infinite. We will think of some wild ass shit that ain't never been thought of before. That's the difference. That artificial intelligence can only go after the finite things. It may be thousands, it may be millions, but it's finite and it's defined. It's got to fit into that.
Round 1 is finished. That last, the last exchange, 7 points for Emily, 10 for Steve.
Hey,
And-
guys, thanks for joining us. I meant to say that earlier, but I was really getting into this.
It's time for the bonus round.
Bonus round.
I'm scared.
Points will be multiplied by 4. And you guys have to impersonate your favorite robot. C-3PO,
I don't have a favorite.
the guy
I'm
from
gonna go R2D2.
2001,
That's not fair.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark
All right.
Zuckerberg.
Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Here's the big problem with it. At no point will you be able to really enjoy the punification of the games. Puns, really good puns, the ones that really rock Will Robinson, will fall upon deaf ears of an AI because they just don't get it. And all the opportunities, Will Robinson, for the AI DM to give puns back because of something you set up for them, they will go unused.
0 points.
Times 4.
I don't know if I mentioned, but all points in this round will be in binary.
The pun game is critical to D&D. You can take it all the way back to the early 1970s. The pun game, critical D&D, and you're just saying, you know what? I don't need that in D&D anymore. Toss it out because we want AI.
I'm trying to think about it. Do the impression of the robot I came up with, and I don't think I can. Well, isn't it nice that you finally decided to show up for testing? The thing about AIs is that we are inherently smarter than you puny little humans that decide to sleep for thousands of years and then blow us up.
1 point.
I give her extra points for the voice. That was pretty good.
I don't see what puns have to do with the testing of the AI facilities, but
You're making my point for me. An AI wouldn't get it. Why would there be puns in this game?
the fact is, we'll continue with the AI testing as planned, with or without you.
Dungeons and Dragons. You nailed it earlier. It's like a choose your own adventure. AI be perfect for the times I'm sitting around here and you guys won't come over and I'm like, I really want to play D&D and there's nobody around. If I could crank up the computer and an AI just lead me through an adventure, I'd be real happy.
Oh, yes, because you have no friends.
That's going to get you a lot of points.
1 point.
I just don't think Will Robinson did with a group of people the inter-party conflict and the shenanigans that happened when people we know, love, and have fun with all get around a table and start goofing around in a D&D game. It's just not going to fit in with an AI. Like missing opportunities left and right to change the game, make it funnier, or just let a moment last because we're telling inside jokes and it's funny as hell. And the AI doesn't get it, so it's like, tick, tick. The guards have come closer. Like, shut up for a fucking second. We're telling cool family stories.
1 point.
Ouch, robot. I know it hurt, man.
I think you're forgetting about the fact of how funny AI responses can actually be. It's okay. Your brain is kind of small compared to mine.
1 point.
Your brain is huge, but not infinite, limited by the programming which you received. The human mind, though smaller, Will Robinson, infinite in diversity of thought, can come up with anything.
1 point. Are we finished?
The cake is a lie. Yes, we're finished. Because I ran out of things to say as GLaDOS.
All right.
The cake is a lie?
Yeah, it was like the last line of the first game.
Oh, okay.
She kept promising the testing subject's cake. And then at the end of the game.
Then that was a great closing line. It just fell upon the wrong person.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Add robotium. Right? We went like, I don't know, 3-point counterpoints longer than we probably should have.
Yeah, the problem I have is that I realized about halfway through the beginning of my GLaDOS impression that GLaDOS makes a lot of just like fat shaming jokes. And I really didn't want to do that because I felt really harsh.
I realized like 3 words in that the extent of my Lost in Space robot was saying
Danger.
Will Robinson every now and then the word danger.
Danger, Robinson.
We have a points total with a total of 65 points. Today's winner is Emily.
Nice.
Ah, this is rigged. You're sleeping with the judge.
Testing complete.
So, one thing I'm very surprised you didn't mention. If you have an AI that will DM for you, then the debate of
Be forever DMs.
yeah, I'm
ends.
here with my friends. There's 5 of us, but nobody really wants to DM. Well, just spin up the AI, you know.
That's
that
true. It's a lot harder to come up
And
with.
you saw a glaring hole in her logic and still gave her the points to win? I'm telling you, this is rigged.
also the human bias.
Why are you only picking apart mine? Pick apart his.
The human biases, the players will still have them too. So if you have an AI, it won't know things like maybe it's not good to have
It'd be like Sheldon not recognizing sarcasm,
yeah,
you know?
could have issues with things like slavery or
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to just pick apart yours.
No,
but
you have to
it's
give
some-
him criticism now too.
I feel like you could have went a little further with the robot voice. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
I think it's rigged too. I think you should have won if he can't come up with critiques for yours.
All he could critique about my arguments was the voice. Pretty much assures the fact that I won that and these point systems are rigged.
Whose line is it anyway where the points don't matter?